Welcome to Dear SQL DBA, a podcast and YouTube show for SQL Server developers and database administrators. I'm Kendra Little from SQLWorkbooks.com. Today, I'm talking about interview advice from the SQL Server community. We'll be talking about recruiters, nerves, and saying no. I recently hosted T-SQL Tuesday, which is a monthly blogging event, and I got to pick the topic. The topic I picked was interview patterns and anti-patterns. And I wanted to open it up. You didn't have to talk about both patterns and anti-patterns. I really wanted to just get advice from folks about interviewing. And there are some fantastic posts. I really enjoyed reading through all of them, and a lot of the advice works for any sort of developer or IT professional. It's not all SQL Server specific. But there were 3 of these posts that really stuck with me, like the kind of blog posts that you read and I just couldn't stop thinking about them. They just really resonated with me, and I am sharing those 3 posts with you in this episode. And I'm not going to spoil the post for you. What I'm going to do is I'm going to tell you where you can find them and talk about why I think they're such outstanding posts and how I think they can help you. The first post is by Adam Mechanic. He wrote this post on SQLblog.com. And if you search for Adam Mechanic SQL blog, you'll find his whole blog. This post is called Playing the Third-Party Recruiter Game. And in this post, Adam tells you how recruiters make money. And more importantly, what that means about your relationship with the third-party recruiter. He gives you really practical advice on how to vet the recruiter and to make sure that you're working with the right recruiters. Because there's a lot of recruiters out there, and he gives you real-world examples of how if you work with the wrong recruiter, it can end up burning you. So he tells you how to vet the recruiter and make sure that you're avoiding the ones that can lead you into disappointing situations that aren't great for you. He tells you why you should be interviewing your recruiter and how to go about doing that in a practical way that won't be weird or awkward. He gives you really specific questions to talk through with the interview and lets you know how the process should be going. This is really great insight because the first time you work with a recruiter, if you haven't, had a recruiter before, you just don't have a good idea of how this should work. And if you've been working with the wrong recruiters, you probably don't know how much better it could be. So Adam Mechanic's post on SQL blog, which is titled Playing the Third-Party Recruiter Game, if you're going to work with recruiters, and they really can help you land great jobs, great essential reading to help you find the right recruiter and get the most out of the situation. Another fantastic post was written by Rob Sewell on SQLDBA.com. So I love that URL, SQLDBA.com. Head to Rob's blog and you'll find this post. It's called I Hate Interviews, which I think is just a fantastic title, right? Super memorable, right to the point. And Rob explains why he hates interviews. He is overcome with nerves, and this isn't like just a DBA thing. He explains how interviews have made him nervous his whole life. And he does it in this way that I felt like I was right there with him. It's a great post because I felt like a friend was telling me about difficult times that he'd had with entertaining stories and then helped me understand systems that he's put in place that have helped him manage this and be able to deal with interviews because he still hates interviews. And this is how things work in the real world. We can't always just make nerves go away. We have to learn how, when we have things in life that make us really nervous or make us anxious, we have to learn how to get good at them even if that nervousness can't be vanquished. So he manages this. He gives really practical, real-world tips, but the big picture is, he says, there's preparation, practice, knowledge, and distraction. And he talks about exactly how he works these out so that he can do well at interviews which don't come natural to him. And I think it's just a really great, honest post that's going to help so many people, because there's a lot of us who get really, really nervous in interview situations. So thank you so much, Rob, for writing this excellent post. Mark Broadbent also wrote a really honest, helpful post about a different type of problem with interviews. Mark's site is tenballs.co.uk, and Mark's post is called Learning to Say No. In Mark's post, he explains how he had this pattern in his life where he was having these stressful jobs that caused him a lot of anxiety. That kind of thing where you're going to work and you're sort of dreading the stress and negative situations you're going to be in all day. And he got to a point where he thought back of it and he recognized that this was a pattern and that his own actions had, this wasn't just a coincidence. He was in this pattern for a reason. He realized he had never turned down a job offer. Now, I read Mark's post and I thought about this, and I remembered a time in my career when I would only ever interview for a job if I was in a stressful situation and I was really burnt out. And I realized that I never saw this pattern at that time in my career as clearly as Mark points it out. And if I'd had that moment of realization back when I was in that pattern, wow, maybe I could have changed things. And Mark changed things for himself by setting himself a challenge. He set himself a challenge of turning down a job offer. And he explains in this post how he went about that and what it worked out as and how it changed his career. So I'm not going to spoil how it turned out, but I think it's a really interesting, compelling post that's absolutely worth reading over on Mark Broadbent's blog on 10 Balls. If you are interested in keeping up with future topics for T-SQL Tuesday, you're like, hey, this is a great concept of people getting together and writing about a topic each month. You can keep up with it at tsqltuesday.com. That summarizes all the past events. And also there's a T-SQL Tuesday hashtag that folks use on Twitter. That's hashtag T-SQL and then the number 2 and then SDAY. You can also go to your favorite search engine and type T-SQL Tuesday and you'll get to the right place eventually. Thanks so much for joining me for this episode of Dear SQL DBA, and thanks to everyone who participated in the T-SQL Tuesday about interviewing. I had great fun. For the posts that I highlighted in this episode, I will put links to them in the show notes so that you can go straight to the posts and enjoy them yourself. See you next week. I'm Kendra from SQLWorkbooks.com.